According to military.com, a commander of a U.S. Space Force unit at Buckley Air Force Base in Aurora has been fired. The report says Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeier said MARXISM is infiltrating the military during a podcast interview that led to an investigation on whether his comments constitute prohibited partisan political activity.
This is where we are in 2021 under Biden's America. Members of the military that are speaking out against foreign ideas that could completely subvert the United States of America, which they are, and which could completely divide the United States military, all branches. This could infect the Marines. It is infecting the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy, the list goes on, right? But this is where we are, where we now have patriots. We now have United States military members, servicemen, in the case of the Space Force, that are now being fired. They're being canceled. They're being deemed as distrusted in the United States military because they speak out against Marxism and cultural Marxism, which is an ideology that is responsible for the murders of over 100 million people worldwide to date. And I think this is an absolute embarrassment for our country. And I think you are literally witnessing the fall of the United States from within. The United States is not going to fall from the outside. The United States military is too powerful. So how do you take down a military that is too powerful to take down from the outside? You take them down from the inside. That is exactly what is taking place with the cultural Marxist phenomenon. All of our pillars of society, all of the educational institutions, all of the entertainment institutions, all of our law enforcement institutions, the list goes on. So we're going to get into that tonight. So guys, welcome to Drew Hernandez Live. My name is Drew Hernandez, hopefully one of your podcast hosts here on YouTube. If you guys can do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel if you're new, smash and destroy that like button and share this video far and wide wherever you can, and also hit the bell notification and toggle on the all selection, because if you don't, YouTube will leave you on an occasional selection that will not give you notifications every single day whenever I post anything. And like I always say, guys, this show is 100% supported by the viewers, we the people, which is you the people. So if you guys would like to support me, consider copying some merch in the merch store. The link is in the description below, drhlive.com, or give a one-time donation on Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. All those links are on my website in the link in the description at drhlive.com. Or if you would like to drop a super chat, we do super chats Q&A format at the end of every single show. So if you guys would like to support the show and interact, drop a super chat now. In the middle of the show, if I say something crazy that you love, or save it for the end and we will get into it. Also, guys, drop your city, your state, your country, wherever you're tuning in from on the face of planet Earth, or if you are streaming from an unknown location in the galaxy and we have not discovered your species, let us know as well, because we'd like to know that too. So if you guys are joining for the very first time, like I said, please share this video wherever you can. And shout out to the DH Alliance, the monthly members on this channel for as low as $5 a month. Shout out to every single one of you guys that support me monthly. Also consider supporting me that way as well. So this is the way. Here we go. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Our military is officially, it's been getting subverted. We have Marxist, cultural Marxist revolutionaries that are now infiltrating our pillars, all of the institutional pillars of society. We're seeing this in Disney. We've been seeing this phenomenon in our universities for decades, which is all by design, by the way. We've seen this in our entertainment, right? Like I said, you've seen it in Disney. You see it in the music industry. You see it in the movie industry. You see it in the cultural performance of arts. You see it obviously in our politics, the rise of socialism in the United States of America that has become mainstream because of people like Bernie Sanders and because of people like AOC and the squad that support cultural Marxism and support socialism, which is an ideology that is responsible for the death of over 100 million people to date. Okay, they always say the Nazis are the bad guys. Yeah, they are. Nazis are the bad guys, but so are the communists. Okay, because Stalin, Mao, Lenin, you study communist history, Marxist history, it always ends in what? Mass genocide. But right now, the United States of America is on a path of being destabilized. We've been demoralized. Now we're being destabilized. Okay, this stuff happens like a sequence. We've been getting demoralized for decades, okay? We have lost our sense of morality, and when I say we, I'm talking about the mainstream culture in the United States of America. So whenever I say we, I'm not saying you, I'm not even saying me, I'm just saying the United States and their mainstream culture via education, pop culture, in regards to music and movies and television, social media, everywhere you look. Obviously, education. Our universities have been 100% subverted and demoralized, and now they're about to be destabilized because that's the next step in what's taking place in the United States of America. So what I want you guys to understand is this is continuing, and this is a trend that is ongoing and a phenomena in the United States of America that you have been witnessing, okay? Like I said, on all of the institutional pillars of society, you see this everywhere. It has poisoned Hollywood. It has poisoned the music industry. But now you're starting to see something take place in the United States military that should seriously, seriously concern you as an American, okay? Because now we have this cultural Marxism. We now have this critical race theory that is invading our United States military. Okay, this is where it has gone. This is where it is going. And there's only one result. The United States military is going to become some kind of police regime, some kind of the direction that communism and Marxism has always historically gone is it always ends up into some type, it turns into some type of police state, hive mind society. Okay, and the military is 100% turned into this. The popular culture is turned into this. The educational systems are turned into this. Everything you see when you study history and you see what cultural Marxism does to a country or a society, that's where it goes. So now it is poisoning our United States military. And people always, they laugh. Jen Psaki laughs at the Space Force as if the Space Force is some kind of stupid idea. No, it's a revolutionary. It is a 100% innovative idea, okay? Because at one point, the Air Force was a stupid idea. If you would have explained someone in a prior timeline what the Air Force was and why the Air Force was important, because our skies are a vantage point to be attacked from across the globe, people would look at you like you're crazy and you didn't know what you were talking about because you thought way too far ahead into the future, okay? That's why woketards like Jen Psaki laugh at the Space Force establishment and creation. We are living in the future, okay? We are literally living in the future. You have China launching rockets into space, into outer space. God knows what they're launching out there. Do you know? Does that concern you? That the CCP is launching rockets into orbit and you have no idea what they're launching off of those rockets? Do you know? Would you feel safer if there was something called the Space Force that had the ability to track those kinds of things? You see what I'm saying? Because the rest of the world is innovating to become better than the United States of America in every single way, shape, and form. In culture, in music, in politics, especially the military. If you're so disconnected from reality and you honestly think that China and the Iranians and Russia are just sitting there saying, yeah, the Americans beat us and everything, so that's just how the world's going to stay and that's how the world's going to continue to be, so we're content with that. So yeah, that's fine. Okay? If you think that is how the world functions, I am sorry. You are literally a woke-tard. You're stupid. You don't live in reality, and you have to understand that America still has some serious enemies, foreign and abroad. Obviously here, but foreign and abroad. And they are technologically advancing by the minute, by the second, as we move forward into the future of this thing that we called humanity, okay? That's where we are going. That is where we are. And if we stay behind and we don't get ahead of the times, we're going to fall behind and become obsolete, not only in technology, but our military advancements, especially like something like the Space Force. You see, liberals and leftists and woketards laughed at that notion because it sounds like some kind of sci-fi, Star Wars, out of this world thing when, no. Those programs have actually influenced a lot of what the Air Force has done. Those movies, okay, have influenced a lot of what the Air Force has done. And to laugh at the notion that the Space Force is something that is some kind of comical, stupid thing is is what the CCP wants. I'll leave it at that, okay? They want Americans thinking that this is stupid as they advance further beyond anything you could ever possibly even dream of. This is what Americans should be concerned about today. But enough of that. What I really wanted to talk about today is the Space Force is a legitimate branch of the United States military, okay? The Space Force is a literal branch of the United States military. Okay, people need to accept this. Stop looking at it as if it's some kind of sci-fi UFO. Well, that's part of the reason probably why, even now, if you guys have seen they call them UAPs now, these unidentified aerial threats, they call them as well. They have all these different titles. They don't call them UFOs anymore. I don't know if you saw the 60 Minutes. Tom DeLonge has been behind this thing for a very long time. They're on the coast of San Diego. They're on the East Coast flying. These fighter pilots are seeing things. They're coming in and out of the atmosphere. They're doing all kinds of things that are impossibilities with proportion. It makes no sense. The United States Air Force, the United States Navy is confirming that there are literally, flying objects in the atmosphere that they have no idea what they are, and they are doing absolute impossible flying maneuvers. They're coming in and out of the atmosphere. They're flying over the ocean. They're diving into the ocean, causing massive splashes. The Navy has them not only on camera, but they have them on radar. I have my own personal opinions as to what those could be. Number one, I'll say that could possibly be some kind of extremely advanced technology. I don't know who the hell has it. Could be Chinese, could be Russian, could be the United States. It could be the Americans. I have no idea. But what we do know is that the United States military has confirmed these vehicles coming in and out of the atmosphere, and they have no idea who the hell or what the hell they are. Okay, that's confirmed now. Now, what I will say about this is it's either some kind of military aerial vehicle that is unknown to the public. I mean, if you've seen the Bob Lazar documentary, Joe Rogan has talked about this a lot. Jeremy Corbell with UFOs and unidentified. I don't know if you guys have heard his story. He claims to have worked at S4, Area 51 in the 1980s, I believe, and he claims to have worked on some kind of UFO spaceship that was owned by the United States government. He claims one of the ships actually had an American flag on it. I don't know if you guys have heard his story. It's very compelling. I don't know if I could believe the guy because a lot of people don't believe him. He claims that there was an extra element back in like the 1980s, 1990s, element 115. Joe Rogan has talked about this many times. People thought he was crazy. Bob Lazar said there is an extra element that, is used as the fuel for this craft. And I worked on this craft and we were trying to re-engineer it and back engineer it. And he claimed the fuel for the UFO was element 115. Turns out he was right and it was actually real. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on with this story. But the point I'm trying to make is either A, it's some kind of advanced technology that the world does not know about, that the Americans do have, which, hey, I would totally believe that. If there's probably stuff that the United States government has that nobody knows about. Okay, so I wouldn't rule out that the U.S. has been keeping something secret for a very long time and they're just testing it on their own most expensive, high performance, not only planes or jets, but most highly trained pilots as well. So I'll say that on a practical aspect of what I believe that could be. But I will also say the Bible does allude to interdimensional beings that have the ability. The Bible calls the devil the prince of the power of the air, right? And that they're spiritual hosts of wickedness. And you read the Old Testament, and spiritual beings, they take the shape, they can the shape shift, they can shape themselves as a human being. You see fallen angels come in the form, or angels come in the form of human beings in the Bible. You've seen them take weird different shapes. If you read the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1 through 3, Ezekiel viewed these aerial angels as some kind of wheel spinning in the sky, flashing lights into his own eye. It seemed to be some kind of ship flying and circulating in weird, bizarre movements in the Bible. So there could possibly be some kind of fallen angel, demonic beings coming in and out of reality. This is what the Bible talks about. The Bible talks about them being interdimensional beings in Ephesians chapter 6 in order to deceive the masses to think that there's something there that is alien or that is out of this world, and they just, I don't know. It could be either or, A or B. The point is this. The point is, let's say that there is a technology somewhere out into the world, okay? Let's say that there's something out there, all right? Whether it's Russian, whether it's Chinese, whether it's Iranian, and it is decades ahead of us. Does that concern you? Does that concern you? If there is some kind of vehicle that exists in this world, okay? If there's some kind of vehicle in this world that is so further beyond the most expensive, high-performance jets that the United States military Air Force owns right now, if there's something out there that is owned by someone, I don't know, does that concern you as a citizen of the United States of America? Some people say they're drones. The only problem with calling them drones is I think it would be pretty far-fetched and it would be pretty ridiculous for the United States Navy and Air Force to mistake a drone, okay? If there's anybody that knows what a drone is, it would be the United States Air Force. We're not talking about people filming things with their cell phones. We're not talking about some dude in Nevada that claimed to see this and he got a picture. We're talking about United States, okay? So we're talking about some serious people here. The United States Air Force, we're talking about the United States Navy. They're not just capturing it on film, they're capturing it on radar that's very expensive, okay? Now, the point I'm trying to make is this. If there is literally something out there that can perform. See, the reason why they're concerned about these things is because they are performing in such a way that defies all aerodynamics. That's what you hear these guys talk about, the Navy, the Air Force, and even Marco Rubio's involved with this. Marco Rubio has recently called for a report to be done, to be reported to the Senate, because they have no idea what these things are that are coming in and out of the atmosphere in San Diego and on the coast, on the East Coast. So my question to you guys is this, is if there is something out there, and I'm not talking about just aliens, okay? I'm talking about if there is technology out in this world that someone else has that Americans don't, like, These fighter pilots, okay, that are training on the coast of San Diego, these guys have been at war. They've been doing this for decades. They've not only trained their whole lives, they've been at war. They've flown planes that are worth more than anything you'll ever touch in your life, okay? These are some very intelligent people. And Commander Fravor, I'm sure you guys have seen him on Joe Rogan. I'm sure you've seen him on Lex Friedman's podcast talking about the Tic Tac UFO on the coast of San Diego, right? Now, what I'll say about this is a fighter pilot that is extremely intelligent who claims to not believe in UFOs, who had an experience with a craft that he claims to be maneuvering in an aerodynamic way that is impossible, okay? That is impossible. Literally going at speeds that make no gravitational, that make no sense at any way, shape, or form. The thing's accelerating from different feet. It is going from 80,000 down to 1 foot above sea level, or going from 1 foot to 80,000. Just unimaginable, with zero proportion, with zero evidence of any kind of fumes coming out of the plane. The point I'm trying to make is, if there is something out there, and I'm not talking about alien, if they're like, how do we know that's not Chinese? How do we know that that's not Russian? How do we know that there isn't a technology somewhere out there in the hands of someone that is literally running circles around our most expensive jets that the United States Air Force can get their hands on in this world? Does that concern you? That's what I want you to ask yourself. Does it concern you that something like that could be happening in your lifetime, where your country could now possibly become obsolete? That scare you at all? It should, because that means that you're no longer the superpower, and you no longer, listen, there are other countries out in this world that do not share your views of liberty. Especially if you're a self-proclaimed liberal, you claim to be a leftist, and you claim to, believe in freedom, and, you believe that a woman should, let's just put it this way. If you're the type of woke-tard that believes that a woman should have the right to execute her baby in the womb, okay, there are people on the face of this planet that do not share those kind of liberal views, that hate this country, that want to see this country die, that want to see this country burn, that want to see this country fall to pieces in ashes, okay, because they hate where your country stands. Now, the reason why I say this and I give you this perspective is I think we are heading into an age, if this is demonic, supernatural, fallen angel activity, which I believe it could be, but I do also believe there could be legitimate craft, something out in this world that we have never seen before. Haven't you guys, I always would trip out on Trump. Do you remember when Trump would make threats to the Middle East? Or do you remember when Trump would make threats when he was president? Did you ever catch what he would say? He would say some very, very bizarre things that really tripped me out. Trump would say, you would see a rain of terror from the sky that the world has never ever seen before. You remember when Trump would say things like that? I'm like, what is he talking about? Does he know something that we don't about our military, or some kind of capability that the world has never seen before? What has the world never seen? We've seen nuclear attacks. We've all seen Hiroshima, World War II, stopped it dead in its tracks. So it's not that the world has not seen nuclear capability. What are they talking about? I don't know. Sometimes I put two and two together, and sometimes I wonder, I'm like, what do these people know? I mean, if there was a craft out there like that, it makes total sense to me that the United States government would allow the disinformation and allow the public to believe, oh, they're aliens. That's what it is. They're aliens. Yeah, that's what they are. They're aliens. They're little green men. That's what that UFO was. It wasn't some kind of extremely aerial advanced technology that we've got our hands on that we do not want anyone on the face of planet Earth to discover, okay? That's not what we want people to know. Let's just let them believe that this is just little green men running around. I don't know. I don't have the answers to these questions, okay? I don't. I'm just saying this. I believe we literally live in the future. We are literally living in the future, okay? I can send you a message wirelessly when you're on the opposite side of the planet, on the globe. You understand how insane that sounds? If you were to say that in the 1800s? If you were to come out and tell someone in the early 1800s, you know what, the day's coming where I will be able to write you a letter wirelessly while we are on the opposite sides of planet Earth. You know how insane you would sound? You would sound crazy if you were to say something like that. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, I think right now we are in this turning point in society, in American society, where the future is now. And I think we're going to start to see some seriously futuristic things that we believe to be science fiction become reality. If I were to tell you in the 1800s that there would be this thing called some Neuralink that could be implanted in your brain, and could possibly jack you into this thing called a computer or this thing called the internet and make you insanely smart because you could basically become a cyborg, what would you say to me? Like, huh? Like, you see, so I don't know. I'm not against technology, but I do believe as we go further and further and further down in humanity, I think we are going to start to see some things that we believe to be science fiction and sci-fi become realities. It's not like we haven't experienced that before. Humanity has gone through that. Humanity has experienced it multiple times. A man being put on the moon. Listen, that's another conspiracy theory. I don't know what you guys believe about that. But rocketry, all these things, being able to go to orbit. Listen, I guess what I'm trying to say is we have gone forward. And the Space Force is, in my opinion, a necessity. Because anytime technology arrives, it's weaponized one way or another. Whenever technology arrives, it is weaponized one way or another. And it may not be by Americans, but I can assure you it will be by evil people somewhere in this world that want to bring down their enemies. And we have to literally assume that that would happen in the context of today. If there was some kind of advanced technology that got into the wrong hands of people that want to see the destruction of the United States of America, you cannot be as stupid enough to believe that they would not use it against us. So Space Force. This is where I fall here. This is where I fall here. Okay, so let's bring this up. I wanted to show you guys this. Space Force CO who got holiday call from Trump fired over comments. This is military.com decrying Marxism in the military. This is ridiculous. A commander of a U.S. Space Force unit tasked with detecting ballistic missile launches has been fired for comments during a podcast promoting his new book, who claims Marxist ideologies are becoming prevalent in the United States military. Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeier, commander of 11th Space Warning Squadron at Buckley Air Force Base, Colorado, was relieved from his post Friday by Lieutenant General Stephen Whiting, the head of Space Operations Command, over a loss of confidence in his ability, and they also said in another statement that they didn't trust him anymore, over a loss of confidence in his ability to lead. Military.com has exclusively learned. The decision was based on public comments made by Lieutenant Colonel Lohmeier in a recent podcast, a Space Force spokesperson said in an email. Lieutenant General Whiting has initiated a command-directed investigation on whether these comments constituted prohibited partisan political activity. Lohmeier's temporary assignment in the wake of his removal was not immediately clear. Earlier this month, Lohmeier, a former instructor and fighter pilot who transferred into the Space Force, self-published a book titled Irresistible Revolution: Marxism's Goal of Conquest and the Unmaking of the American Military. Let's just stop right there. This is a massive article. You guys can read it later, but I think they kind of proved his point. I think that what this has literally done is proved his point. How is it that they write this off as political? They write this off as political? The United States doesn't want to politicize anything? The United States military wants to keep politics out of stuff? Okay, well, if that's true, why is it that the politicized agenda of the LGBTQ community has literally been plunged into the United States military? There are advocates, there are activists that piss, moan, and complain all day long for the United States military for taxpayer money to be used if you're trans in the United States military to get a surgery. Oh, that's not political? Huh? That's not political? Oh, yeah, the military, they don't want to make things about Really? You believe that trans rights are not political issues? Tell that to a leftist. They'll blow up. Their head will explode. So if I come out and say, hey, leave the LGBTQ stuff out of the military, I get accused of hate speech. But the LGBTQ community comes out and says, this is our political agenda. LGBTQ rights in the military. LGBTQ rights. We're activists, political activists, speaking for change in the United States military. Do you see the double standard here? How does it make sense? How there's one side that gets their way? How there's one side that gets a pass? How there's one side that is allowed to do this? You see, because you always get conservatives that get confused in this as well. I see it in my comment sections. Well, the United States military, they shouldn't get political. Well, why the hell are the LGBTQ community and their activists allowed to literally poison the United States military, and they get to speak on those platforms as well? Why are they allowed? That's not political? Oh, yeah, go tell that to a leftist. Their head will explode. You see what I'm saying? It makes no sense. What I have to say about this is this. Even if they claim human rights, oh, you guys want to talk about human rights? Marxism? Cultural Marxism? This ideology that is literally suppressive and oppressive to people that disagree with it? Marxism? You want to talk about human rights? Okay, let's talk about the human rights that cultural Marxism has defended and produced in the last, let's say, 100 to 200 years. You know how many people have been murdered because of this ideology? Over 100 million people. This is why I say, and this goes to my point, is this. This is my point. My point is, Marxism is a foreign ideology that has historically been proven to destabilize militaries and destabilize states, nations, and societies. It is a literal ideology that has the ability to divide a nation and a people within days, within months, within weeks. You study history, you study cultural Marxism, that is exactly what it does. The aspect and the authoritarian aspect of Marxism and communism is something that these neo-communists just never want to talk about. Yeah, we know about Mao, we know about Stalin, we know about those mean guys like Lenin, we know about Fidel Castro. They did it all wrong. They were authoritarian psychopaths. We just want people to be happy and be equal and have equality for all and live in this utopia where we're all just happy and living in amazing lives. But what they fail to always recognize is that is what that ideology sells you for the purpose of you being willing to sell your rights over to a police state so that police state can have full authoritarian control over you. And then when the useful idiots are done for, and when that is no longer the case, what happens to them? What historically happens to the useful idiots? They all get murdered and executed because they're too influential to change the country when they wake up to the reality that they have been used to usher in a murderous regime. That is what happened with Lenin, with Stalin, with Mao, and the list goes on. It is never going to change. The United States military should well know that the KGB, the USSR, communist countries, they literally act and thrive through subversion, psychological warfare. This is completely known by the United States military and the CIA. They know this. They know that this is how these countries operate. They subvert societies. They subvert universities. They subvert culture. They can subvert a nation by infiltrating a nation from within. You think the United States government doesn't know this? Come on, bro. Of course they do. But they're allowing it. Why? Because they have been beaten from within. This is a warfare. This is literally an information warfare that changes the minds of millions of people. And we are losing it. The reason why we're losing it is because they have infiltrated all of the mainstream pillars of society. They've infiltrated all of them. Education, entertainment, music, movies, TV, the list goes on. Everywhere you see this stuff. Everywhere you see this stuff. Now, obviously, politics. Now it's in the United States military. Listen, the United States government should be in opposition towards Marxist ideologies. And the reason why is because Marxist ideologies always end up in a police freaking state. Marxism is a threat to the United States Constitution. How many times do we have to say this? Marxism is a threat to the United States Constitution. It is literally in opposition towards the United States Constitution. That is what Karl Marx literally believed. When you look at his beliefs, when you put it up next to the United States Constitution, the complete opposition. Why didn't the United States founders sit down and say, you know what? You see what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna found this nation. How are we gonna do this? Listen, they don't look to these ideologies because these ideologies, they don't add up. They don't add up at all. The United States military should know this, and they should be in opposition. The fact that this guy is getting canceled and fired proves to me that the United States military has been subverted. That's what this shows me. Because what is he being canceled for? What is he being fired for? For speaking out against a foreign ideology that could destroy the military. And he's the one that gets ousted. That should tell you everything. That should tell you everything of the status of the United States military. And if anyone dare speak out against it, oh, they're an infiltrator. Oh, they're the ones that are untrustworthy. Oh, they're the ones that are going in opposition of this country. They've been subverted. This is so sad. This is so sad. This is who these people are, and the United States military has been effectively subverted. There's always going to be hope. But what I will say about this is, I just think that what we need to do here is we have to have conservatives, we have to have Christians push back. I'm never going to sit here and say, just put your head in the sand and enjoy the ride. But there are times in history. Now I'm going to give you guys some theology. When you study the nation of Israel, when you study how God deals with various nations in the Old Testament especially, God gives people over. He does. He does. That's theologically accurate. Listen, I've studied the Bible for a very long time. It's hilarious when people try to explain to me theology. It's cute. It's cute, okay? But when you look at the Old Testament, God gives nations over because God gives nations multiple warnings. The Bible itself. And when they don't listen, God gives them what they want. And the sad part about that is, well, what about the church? What about Christianity? Of course. The Bible makes it very clear. God even said that to some of the prophets. There's always going to be a remnant. And sometimes nations are just completely given over to their demise. And God leaves a remnant within that nation because when that nation is ready to come back, those are the people that God's going to use to bring them back. America has been pampered. America has been literally privileged for a very long time. And America's greatest sin is turning on Christ himself and disobeying him. Obviously, one of their great top sins is the execution of babies in the womb, but the most unforgivable sin is to reject Christ, according to the scripture. That's the unpardonable sin. And America is definitely right there. Right there. And I think, how does this play out in the United States military? Listen, we have no room for division. This Marxism, look how this has divided us. In just 4 years? Did you even know what Marxism was? Before Obama was president? I can assure you a lot of people probably never even heard of the word Marxism. Now it's mainstream. Now it's hardline mainstream. People know what it is. Look how quickly it became mainstream. And look how quickly it's divided this country. It's divided everything. It's divided Hollywood. It's divided freaking Star Wars. Critical race theory and education and Star Wars and Disney. Everywhere you look, in the music industry. All the critical race theory, cultural Marxism. Every single day, everywhere you look. Look how divided we are in this country because of these ridiculous ideologies. Now imagine the military. How does that play out? How the hell is this going to play out? When the United States military is being indoctrinated with cultural Marxism and white privilege and all this BS, and you send them into Afghanistan, you send a black guy and you send a white guy to Afghanistan, how does that play out? Do they not watch each other's backs in a combat situation now? Do the black guys just leave the white guys out on the combat field and they don't protect them? They leave them there to die because he's privileged? How does this stuff play out in the United States military? It's racist. It's racist. All of it is racist from the top down. And now it's literally indoctrinating and it's poisoning the United States military. And it should concern you. What this is going to do, it's literally going to divide the country. It's literally going to divide the country. The United States military. It's already divided this country, but now the United States military is going to be divided even more. A house that is divided amongst itself shall not stand. If the United States military is now going to be indoctrinated with Marxism, it's going to fracture them and split them. And you know what that's going to open up? A perfect attack from someone that is just ready to destroy this country. If you could destabilize, listen, doesn't it trip you out how everything is getting destabilized and attacked? Law enforcement, border patrol, United States military. You take those out from within, you could take this country over overnight. Overnight. That is exactly what is taking place. That is exactly what is taking place in this country. And it should concern you. Well, if you guys don't believe me, I want to play you this video. Jesse Waters ran a piece last Saturday night detailing that the United States, the DOD, has been instructed to literally purge patriots out of the United States military, or to identify patriot extremism. This is where we are. This is where we are. If the United States military has someone that they identify as a patriot extremist, they're going after them now. Unbelievable. Take a look.
You're in the military or have friends or family in the military, we need to look out for this guy. His name's Bishop Garrison, and he's in charge of bringing critical race theory into our armed forces. They're calling him the Pentagon's hatchet man because his job is to purge patriots from the ranks. Garrison is now head of Countering Extremism Group. That group is in charge of redefining extremism, could be supporting Trump, the border wall, voter ID, however loosely they want to define it. Leaked Pentagon documents about the insider threat in the DOD mention a new type of extremism in the military called, quote, patriot extremism. Bishop Garrison wants the military justice system to deal harshly with whatever this ideology is. Joining me now, Pete Hegseth, Fox and Friends weekend co-host. I would assume we want patriots in the military. Pete, I don't know what patriotism, extremism means. What does it mean?
It means you, and it means me. This is about, Jesse, as scary as it gets. I mean, really, this truly is a purge of patriots. They're using January 6th as the ultimate justification. He was hired, by the way, after January 6th, Bishop Garrison was. This is an extremist 1619 Project, Black Lives Matter sympathizer type guy, and his job is to define extremism, identify ways in which they can vet candidates who may have been extreme, to look for extremism in the ranks, and then even for veterans, they're asking them to screen their fellow vets and report back to the Pentagon. It's beyond the pale. Here's the thing, they're showing this tweet right now.
And look at him here. We're actually just showed up a tweet, right? The guy says if you support Trump, you're a racist, and he's in charge of purging patriots. So, Pete, if you have a tattoo, you probably have 1,000 tattoos that are probably deemed extremist patriotism. Could you get knocked out of the military because of a tattoo or something?
You probably could. One of the symbols that they put in that leaked document is "come and take it." I have 2 of those shirts in my closet. You know, I don't have the tattoo yet, but I might get it in honor of Bishop Garrison. He's saying that there's no room for nuance. If you support Trump, you're extreme. And what does that mean about the future of the military? This is the last true meritocracy, place for patriotism. Listen, if you're watching, if you want young Johnny to be a staff sergeant someday, hope he didn't click on TikTok that the election was rigged, or MAGA, because the military might say, no, we can't.
Everyone.
You're witnessing the possible setup of a second civil war. That's what this is. I'm sitting here and I'm watching this, and the images I get in my mind. Look how divided the country is right now. This is going to be a race war in the United States military, with the critical race theory, with the cultural Marxism, and the indoctrination in the United States military. It's going to cause a race war in the United States military. You're going to have black people, you're going to have people of color, and you're going to have white people going at it within their own ranks. This is the preliminary stages of a second civil war in the United States military. And what does cultural Marxism always do? It destabilizes. It demoralizes. If they could fracture the unity in the United States military even further and even worse up until this point, they're going to destroy our military, Air Force, Space Force, Marines, Navy. Just think about everything you've seen. 2020, everything you've seen. What have you seen? You've seen black people pinned against white people, and you've seen white people pinned against black people. You saw riots. You saw black people causing white people to bow down to them. You see police officers kneeling as BLM militants march the streets after burning down buildings, right? Now imagine that. in your United States military. You think that's not going to happen? Oh, you better believe that's going to happen. Because you would have never believed that that could happen to our society if I were to told you 6 years before it happened. You wouldn't have believed me. No way. You think that can't happen in the military? Of course it can. That's exactly what you're saying. They want a race war in our own military. That is what this stuff is setting us up for. And isn't it interesting? Listen to the verbiage. Patriot extremism. If someone supports President Trump, that's extreme? You guys hear what I just said? Listen. Are you listening? If someone supports President Trump, President Trump, President Trump, you're a patriot extremist in the United States military. Are you guys catching what I'm saying? I hope you guys are. Listen to the verbiage. This is what the cultural Marxism does. It redefines terms, and now it's bad to support a United States president in the United States military. You know how insane that sounds? Insane that sounds. If you're in the United States military and you're found to support a former United States commander-in-chief, you are a patriot extremist. That is insane. That is called, listen, I say that, and it's probably not clicking with you. This is demoralization. This is what this is. They want us to fall under the new normal where if you support a president, a former commander-in-chief, you're considered a extremist. Welcome to Biden's America. Welcome. Big Brother is watching you. Welcome to 1984, preliminary stages. This is where we're going. This is where we are. Patriots need to stand up, speak up, push back, do what needs to be done, cultivate, preserve your family, keep your family close. Keep your family close. This is where we are right now. They want to fracture the United States military, and that is exactly where this is going. It's insanity, man. It blows my mind. Who gets to define what is a patriot extremist? Who gets to define that? Oh, the federal government? Wow. Okay. Yeah. A patriot extremist could come down to someone wearing a Make America Great Again hat. Oh, you don't think so? Interesting. But that's where we are. This is not going to end well. This is a subversion. This is a psychological attack on the United States military. That is why this Space Force officer came out and spoke out against it, because he knows exactly what this is going to do to the United States military. It will cause so much division where foreign enemies, foreign and abroad, are going to see this and take advantage of it. 100%. Let's see. This guy Hiking Bro says, "Hey Drew Hernandez, please learn some facts." Oh wow, yeah, wow. I don't know any facts. I'm just very successful in the political movement. I made a career based off of facts. I have a reputation speaking on facts. But please educate me, Hiking Bro. Hey, please learn some facts. This was internal to the military. What are you talking about? It's public. The Space Force, this officer inquired of his superiors whether he could put out this book or not. And then they turned around. What do you mean internal? They made it public because they canceled him. Internal, of course. He required from his supervisors, he required from his superiors whether he could do this or not. He got the okay, and they still turned around and saw him as a threat. Hilarious. Hiking Bro. Let's see. Let's continue. Let's put Hiking Bro on the spot. Hiking Bro also says, "You made a career out of politics. You are a pundit on a YouTube channel. Dime a dozen." Oh yeah, I've been on TV shows with millions of people. Yeah, I guess I'm just a pundit on a YouTube channel. That's hilarious. Alrighty, guys, let's do some super chats. If you could bring some super chats forward, guys. If you guys would like to support me, let's do some super chats right now. Like I said, we are 100% supported by this channel. We are 100% supported by the viewers, by you, the people. So if you guys would like to support this show, you can drop a super chat below, and we will interact right now. So thank you guys so much for the support. And yes, I don't normally call out trolls, but every now and then I will do it because they say the most ridiculous, stupidest things, and I just think it's hilarious. So have a great day, Hiking Bro. You now look like a moron. Alrighty, guys, let's continue and do some super chats. now. So thank you guys so much. And if you guys got to jam out, you don't want to do super chats, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, toggle on the all selection on the bell, and also check out the merch store. That's how you could support me as well. The link is in the description below. So let's do some super chats now. Thank you guys very much for the support. All right, we have a $20 super chat from OMG Puppies. We salute you. The Bible also says the pagan gods were demons, fallen angels. But also check out Thunderfoot's videos that debunk the UFO videos very clearly. Man, I've seen so much on this, okay? Trust me, my wife will tell you, I have biblically researched this. Like, I can do an entire episode. I just barely scratched the surface. So I'm most assuredly, I've probably seen this, what you're talking about. But thank you. We have another super chat from Aletha Lee, a $5 super chat. We salute you. So much destruction in 117 days of Biden's shadow government. I feel helpless besides praying. What I will say is, as a Christian, never lose hope. And as a Christian, always push back righteously. Use your voice, use your influence, use all that you have to preserve your family and your faith. But number one, make your peace with God. The gospel of Christ is 100% real because Christ can come back at any moment. The rapture of the church is next on God's prophetic timeline. That could happen literally any moment. No man knows the date or the hour. We could be taken out here like that, and the 7-year tribulation initiates. So I encourage people to make their peace with God. Take a look at what's happening in Israel. That is biblical proportions right there. Israel is literally fighting for its life. Okay, you have people in the region. What people don't realize is that the region around Israel is always watching. That's what you have to take a look at. And right now, there are a lot of things that are taking place in the world that show me that Christ's return is very, very soon. We have another super chat from Betty Boop 2020, a $5 super sticker. Thank you so much for the support. We have another super chat from Kay Lorraine, a $2 super chat. Conservatives need to organize better, but how? I encourage people, man. I encourage people to organize, use your First Amendment rights, get involved in politics, get involved in your own personal careers. Don't be afraid of cancel culture. If you're a doctor, be the most outspoken conservative doctor you possibly can be. Listen, there's going to be sacrifices. People are going to get fired. People are going to get canceled. It's going to happen. But wherever you are in your own respective career, we need more conservative. We need more patriotic doctors, lawyers, members of the media, more patriot on these everyday things of life. We need this. We need more. And obviously the most basic things, of course, organizing, getting together as a community, voting people in, voting people out. You can do this. Find your own local chapters, find your own local conservative chapters, make sure your views align with them, get behind a candidate, get behind someone that has the same ideas as you. You can put them up there, get someone out, primary somebody, get the rhinos out. There's all kinds of things you could do, but I encourage people, if you're going to do something, at least do something. Something. It's terrible, man. But this isn't on an episode of all that. So, alrighty, we have some more super chats coming in tonight. We have some more super chats. Whoa, why did that do that, YouTube? We have another super chat from JD. We salute you, JD, with the $5 super chat. I ordered Captain Matthew Lemire's book. Thanks for letting me know about his situation. Yep, I encourage everyone, go buy that guy's book. Buy it now. Go buy his book. I'm going to say that right now publicly. Go buy his book. Thank you for that. We have another $5 super chat from Colorado Moon. A $5 super chat. Hey, Drew, thanks for all the work you do. No, thank you, Colorado Moon. Thank you so much for the support. We have another super chat from Lindsay, a $20 super chat. We salute you. The live stream was awesome. Alien emoji. Nanu, Mork from Orc. Thank you so much. Listen, I love talking about this stuff. Trust me, I do. Like, sometimes I just go on the whole UFO thing. Someday I'll do an episode just on that, because I'll take you deep in theology with this stuff, okay? Because my biblical views on what this could be, but I do have views. I believe, number one, I personally believe that some of these things that you're seeing on the coast of San Diego, you're seeing on the East Coast, I personally believe that they are possibly some kind of craft that the world just doesn't know about. They just don't know about. I think, because there are just some things that are hard to explain about it theologically in that perspective. So We have another super chat from Mishi Venmindi, a $10 super chat. Praying for you. God is working through you. Stay strong, stay true, stay free. Yes, we salute you. Thank you so much for the support. It gets discouraging sometimes, but hanging out with you guys is always awesome. So thank you guys so much for that support. Yeah, you cannot stay silent. Whatever you do, do not stay silent. Stay silent. Whatever you do, don't do nothing. Okay, do something. Get involved. Get involved with your local chapters. Get involved with your local. I don't know if it's a good political movement. I suggest people, they find out what these people actually believe, and then they get involved and go from there. We have another super chat from Great Loud Mouth. Thank you for being brave and reporting the truth. Praying for God's winds of change to save us. I also really like your starting theme music. Is there a link I can find it? Thank you and God bless. Yes, I think I forgot his name, but I'll put the link in the description later. He has like 2 albums full of music, and I just picked the ones that I like the most. So shout out to him. Thank you guys very much. But yeah, I want to tell people, it's people get discouraged and they want to give up, but that's not the solution. I encourage people to study people like Dietrich Bonhoeffer. He is just my favorite. He was a Christian pastor during the Nazi Third Reich. I can't imagine living through something like that. But talk about martyrdom, talk about like living through an era where it was very hard to be a Christian, living through an era where, you see, what people don't talk about Nazi Germany is that a lot of Christians and so-called churches and the so-called Catholic Church actually supported Adolf Hitler in Nazi Germany, okay? So there was a remnant in Nazi Germany that was in opposition towards Adolf Hitler that was even ostracized by the so-called church in Germany. That is dangerous. And sometimes I relate to a lot of that. I mean, I'm not living in Nazi Germany, but sometimes I'm sitting here preaching against all these unrighteous things and unrighteous, kids being executed in the womb and speaking out against illegal immigration, sex trafficking, human trafficking. I'm just like this. And sometimes I feel like on my own island here sometimes. I've been criticized by senior pastors at Calvary Chapel that claim to be men of God, but I come out and I start speaking out against some serious political issues and you're just being political, bro. You're just causing division. It's like, you're damn right I'm causing division, because I'm going to draw a line in the sand between people getting murdered and manipulated by evil powers and those that claim to be sitting there doing it for a righteous purpose in the name of social justice. So yes, I'm a very outspoken Christian. I'm a very loud Christian. And the reason why I am is because we're living through some seriously damn dangerous times. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was a black sheep in Nazi Germany. And I feel like that a lot. We have another super chat from Wild Ace Cat. We salute you, Wild Ace Cat, with the super chat. My workplace is making people get the vaccine. If they want to work without a mask on, should I call out their hypocritical standards? I feel it signaling out those who don't get the vaccine. I think you're still free. I'm not going to encourage people, to just be irresponsible in their careers. I think people are going to have to you're going to have to seriously make a decision. Is this where I want to work? Am I going to have to find somewhere else I want to work where I don't have to be forced to wear a mask or take the vaccine? I think Americans are just going to have to start asking themselves these questions, because we still have the liberty to choose. I mean, it's unfortunate and it sucks, but it is what it is. I just think people right now, it's funny how I said this on the news the other day. It's funny how the left claims my body, my choice when it comes to slaughtering babies in the womb, but there's no my body, my choice if I don't want to put something in my body that I don't trust. It's ridiculous. It's 100% ridiculous. So yeah, I'd leave it at that. We have a donation from Lola20. Lola with a $10 donation. Like I said, I don't know if I forgot to say this, but if you guys would like to donate on my website through Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, the link is in the description below on my website. And if you leave a message on Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, I'll read it on air like a super chat. Some people don't like doing super chats. So here we go from Lola20 with the $10 donation. Lola says, for speaking out truth, we're in this nightmare together. Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree. So like I said, guys, I want to make a quick announcement as well. I will be doing a lot more work frequently with Real America's Voice. So you guys can download the app on iOS or Android. I believe you guys can watch it on Dish TV. I think I have to find that channel. Or you can just watch it on the website, Real America's Voice. Sometimes I'll be co-hosting America's Voice Live, the show. But I will be frequently commentating on a lot of serious hot button issues on the network. So shout out to that, guys. If you guys would like to come out and support, I'll always be posting when I'm going to go live, when I'm going to be doing interviews online. So make sure to be following me on all my social media accounts, on Twitter, on Gab, on Instagram, and all that good stuff. I'll always post my interview times and all that good stuff. So thank you guys very much for tuning in tonight. I will be doing this show tomorrow. We do this show Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have some trips coming up. There is something very significant coming up next week. And if you'd like to get behind it financially, I can't announce it because obviously I get doxxed. It's Antifa. It's Black Lives Matter related. I'll leave it at that. I can't announce any locations. Obviously, they'll know I'll be there. But if you guys would like to get behind that and support me, the link is in the description below. So thank you guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification and share this video far and wide. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And until next time, America, stay free.